People who hide their feelings are often mistaken for being emotionally strong, distant, or unaffected, but psychology shows that this behavior usually has nothing to do with a lack of emotions. In fact, many people who hide their feelings experience emotions more intensely than others. The difference is not in how deeply they feel, but in how they learn to handle those feelings. For them, silence became a skill, not a choice. Most people who hide their feelings learned early in life that emotional expression came with consequences. They may have been ignored, criticized, mocked, or punished for showing sadness, fear, or vulnerability. Over time, their brain adapted. Instead of expressing emotions openly, it learned to suppress them to maintain safety, control, or acceptance. This conditioning does not disappear with age. It becomes part of their emotional wiring. Psychologically, hiding emotions is a form of self-protection. When someone repeatedly experiences emotional disappointment, their mind creates a defense mechanism that says, "If I don't show how I feel, I can't be hurt for it." This belief becomes automatic. Even when they want to open up, their nervous system hesitates, scanning for danger that may not even exist anymore. People who hide their feelings often appear calm during situations that overwhelm others. This does not mean they are unaffected. It means their emotional processing happens internally and silently. Their mind goes into observation mode instead of reaction mode. While others express stress outwardly, they absorb it inwardly. Over time, this can create emotional pressure that builds without release. One common psychological trait in these individuals is emotional filtering. Before expressing anything, they mentally ask themselves several questions. Is this worth saying? Will it cause conflict? Will I regret it later? Will it make me look weak? This constant filtering slows emotional expression and often results in saying nothing at all. Silence feels safer than saying the wrong thing. People who hide their feelings are usually highly self-aware. They notice their emotional shifts clearly, but they don't share them easily. They can describe what they feel in their own mind with precision, yet struggle to translate those feelings into words for others. This creates a gap between what they experience internally and what others see externally. Another psychological aspect is emotional responsibility. Many of these individuals believe they must protect others from their emotions. They think showing sadness might worry people, showing anger might hurt someone, and showing fear might make them a burden. So they choose to carry emotions alone, believing that this is the mature or responsible thing to do. Because they hide their feelings, they are often seen as strong. Others rely on them, confide in them, and expect stability from them. Over time, this role becomes heavy. They become the emotional support for everyone else while denying themselves the same support. Psychology calls this emotional imbalance, where a person gives understanding but rarely receives it. People who hide their feelings are usually excellent observers. Since they spend less time expressing themselves, they spend more time watching others. They notice subtle changes in tone, body language, and mood. This heightened awareness makes them empathetic, even when they don't openly show empathy. They feel others' emotions strongly, sometimes absorbing them as their own. Another common pattern is delayed emotional response. During stressful or painful moments, they remain composed, but later, when they are alone, emotions surface intensely. This may appear as sudden sadness, unexplained exhaustion, or overthinking at night. Their brain postpones emotional processing until it feels safe enough to release it. People who hide their feelings often struggle with emotional labeling. Because they suppress emotions frequently, they may feel overwhelmed without knowing exactly why. They might describe their emotional state as numb, empty, or heavy, rather than identifying specific feelings. This is not emotional confusion, it is emotional overload without expression. Trust is a major psychological factor for them. They do not open up easily, but when they do, it is deeply intentional. They don't share emotions casually. They wait until they feel safe, understood, and respected. Once trust is broken, they retreat quickly and quietly, reinforcing the belief that staying emotionally closed is safer. In relationships, people who hide their feelings may appear emotionally distant at first. This can be misinterpreted as lack of interest. In reality, they are emotionally cautious. They need consistency, patience, and emotional safety before opening up. When they finally do, their emotional attachment is deep and sincere. Psychology also links emotional hiding to perfectionism. Many of these individuals believe they must have control over themselves at all times. They see emotional expression as loss of control. Crying, anger, or vulnerability feels like failure rather than release. This mindset creates internal pressure to always appear composed. People who hide their feelings often use indirect emotional outlets. They may express emotions through creativity, music, writing, humor, or solitude. Humor, especially, becomes a common mask. Making others laugh allows them to release emotional tension without revealing vulnerability. Silence becomes another coping tool, allowing them to retreat without explanation. Another important psychological trait is fear of misunderstanding. Many people hide their feelings because they believe others will not truly understand them. They fear being misjudged, minimized, or dismissed. So instead of risking emotional invalidation, they choose emotional invisibility. Over time, emotional suppression can lead to physical and mental fatigue. The mind and body are connected. Unexpressed emotions often show up as tension, headaches, irritability, or chronic tiredness. This does not mean emotions are weak, it means they demand acknowledgement. People who hide their feelings often struggle with asking for help. Even when overwhelmed, they tell themselves they should manage on their own. They equate independence with strength and vulnerability with weakness. Psychology shows that this belief is learned, not natural. Despite these struggles, people who hide their feelings are emotionally resilient. They endure pain quietly and continue functioning even when emotionally drained. However, resilience without release is not healing, it is survival. Healing begins when they allow themselves permission to feel openly, without self-judgment. When these individuals feel emotionally safe, their transformation is noticeable. They become expressive, warm, and deeply connected. Their emotions were never absent. They were simply waiting for safety. This shows that emotional hiding is not personality, it is protection. Understanding people who hide their feelings requires patience rather than pressure. Pushing them to open up too quickly often makes them retreat further. Trust grows slowly with consistency, respect, and emotional validation. If you were someone who hides your feelings, psychology reminds you that emotions do not disappear when ignored. They wait. Expression does not make you weak, it makes you human. The moment you allow yourself to feel openly, your mind releases the weight it has been carrying silently. And if you know someone who hides their feelings, remember this. Their silence is not emptiness. It is depth. It is not coldness. It is caution. Behind their calm exterior is a mind that feels deeply, thinks intensely, and carries more than it ever shows.